Imagine for a moment someone you know, perhaps someone you see every morning when you look in a mirror, who is defined by their relentless effort. This person is intelligent, capable, dedicated, and constantly putting in the necessary work. They attend the workshops, they read the financial books, they optimize their productivity, and they chase their dreams with almost desperate energy. Yet, despite all this output, the results simply refuse to materialize. The financial flow is consistently interrupted. Just when a major deal is about to close or the savings account reaches a promising threshold, an inexplicable event occurs. A major unforeseen expense surfaces, a client backs out, or a moment of profound self-sabotage compels them to make a ruinous decision. They are perpetually stuck in a state of high effort and low return, experiencing the agonizing, repeated loop of almost succeeding. This isn't a failure strategy. It's a breakdown of energy. This deep, internal friction leads to a pervasive, corrosive sense of exhaustion and frustration. It culminates in that quiet, painful realization: maybe this abundance is just not meant for me. This is emotional bottom, the point where the individual collapses under the weight of the invisible struggle, believing they lack some essential quality that others seem to possess effortlessly. They feel trapped, as if an unseen force were actively working against their prosperity, silently undermining every step towards stability and growth. This isn't laziness. It's confusion masked as inadequacy. They tried to fix the outer world, the budgets, the investments, but the problem always returned because the engine powering those decisions was sabotaged from within. The realization dawns that the true obstruction is not the economy, the bad luck, or the competition. The enemy has been, all along, a silent construct of self. This construct is a mental blueprint, a powerful, fear-based structure created by old traumas, past experiences, and deeply inherited narratives about money. It's a mechanism designed for safety, not for expansion, and it operates with more authority than your logical desire for wealth. While your conscious mind strives for six figures, your subconscious is running a conflicting program rooted in the fear that success equals danger, loss, or isolation. You feel the strain of accelerating the car with the emergency brake engaged, and the resulting burnout is simply the friction generated by this internal conflict. We are not here today to talk about superficial hacks. We are here to perform a deep psychological decoding. We are going to identify the specific mental block, dissolve the old, limiting programming, and replace it with a new vibrational command for genuine, sustainable expansion. When you transform this core internal architecture, everything changes. The effort you expend will finally translate into the results you deserve, because the internal resistance will be gone. The weight disappears, the energy opens up, and the financial flow begins to respond to your command. This is not about becoming a different person. It is about awakening the prosperous identity that was always waiting beneath the fear. Until this inner blueprint is transformed into a pathway for manifestation, life will continue to cycle back to familiar struggle. But by claiming this internal power, you finally access a prosperity that has always been your right. If the blockage is internal, we must become meticulous detectives of our own psyche, tracing the roots of our financial narrative. Most people believe their relationship with money is purely logistical, a byproduct of current income and expenses. The truth is, your core financial operating system was installed during your formative years, often before you reached the age of 10. Think back to the atmosphere surrounding money in your childhood home. Was it a source of silent tension, implying shame? Was it the catalyst for violent arguments, teaching you that wealth equals conflict? Was it always ephemeral, here today, gone tomorrow, implanting a deep fear of impermanence and guaranteed loss? These early observations are not mere memories. They're the genesis of your current money blueprint. We subconsciously absorb the financial rules of our family or caregivers as survival mandates. If they constantly struggled, if they adhered to belief that wealth required intense suffering or that successful people were morally compromised, your nervous system adopted those beliefs as protective armor. Your system is not trying to keep you poor. It is trying to keep you safe by ensuring you stay loyal to the familiar, even if a familiar is scarcity. This is often the most profound realization. The self-sabotage isn't personal laziness, but rather an unconscious loyalty to inherited patterns. Consider the trauma patterns that may be embedded. Perhaps you witnessed a sudden, catastrophic financial downturn. Your system learned expansion leads to pain. To prevent future devastation, it keeps you cycling just below the threshold of true stability, where the perceived risk is lower. When you approach a major financial breakthrough, your subconscious triggers the alarm. Anxiety spikes, procrastination sets in, or you generate a sudden, irrational need to spend. These actions are protective measures, designed to push you back to the familiar equilibrium of manageable struggle. Recognizing this blueprint requires profound self-compassion, not judgment. You are not blaming your past. You are simply identifying the source code that needs updating. The crucial task in this stage is to articulate the dominant, unspoken rules about money that you run on today. Do you believe true success requires the total annihilation of your personal life? Do you secretly harbor conviction that good people aren't rich? These beliefs are not universal facts. They are artifacts from a previous era of your life. They are the invisible anchors tethering your potential. Without shining the light of awareness on these specific narratives, they will continue to pilot your financial decisions from the deep subconscious, ensuring that your outward efforts are always neutralized by inward resistance. Once we have identified the old, toxic narratives, the limiting beliefs that emerge from our inherited blueprint, we must commit to their immediate and systematic replacement. These are not trivial thoughts. They are deeply grooved neural pathways that function as powerful, restricting boundaries. Let us dismantle 3 of the most pervasive financial myths that prevent dedicated individuals from achieving true abundance and install the necessary command structures for creation. The first myth is a belief in exhaustive scarcity. Money is hard to earn, and I have to fight tooth and nail for every dollar. This myth keeps you operating from a place of perpetual exhaustion, trapped in a zero-sum game mentality where your focus is on what you might lose, rather than what you can create. The profound truth is that money is dynamic energy, constantly flowing and regenerating. The new unshakable command is, I am a highly skilled conduit of infinite resources. My value generates wealth easily and consistently. You must stop allowing the idea that success requires grinding pain to dominate your internal dialogue. Begin seeing yourself as a generator of value, attracting resources simply because you are offering something excellent to the world. The second destructive myth is unworthiness and guilt. I must suffer and sacrifice my joy to be worthy of abundance. This belief is deeply rooted in moralistic scarcity, suggesting that wealth is inherently impure or that enjoying your success is somehow morally wrong. This myth justifies burnout and prevents you from enjoying the fruits of your labor, often resulting in self-sabotage when large sums appear. The truth is, your worth is inherent, and your prosperity is a force multiplier for good. The new command is, I accept abundant flow joyfully and effortlessly. My wealth enhances my capacity for generosity and positive impact, and I allow ease to be my default state. When you prioritize ease and joy, you make sharper, more creative financial decisions because you are operating from inspiration, not desperation. The final myth is a fear of elevation. If I succeed, I will be judged, alone, or I will inevitably lose it all, confirming my ultimate fragility. This fear ensures you stay small. It is a protective ego mechanism that equates success with risk and loss of community. The truth is, responsible, conscious wealth secures your freedom and amplifies your truest self. The new command is, I am financially sovereign and emotionally secure. I am safe with money, and my growth attracts supportive, high-vibrational relationships. You are not sacrificing integrity by growing. You are merely elevating your capacity. These commands are not just wishes. They are precise neurolinguistic tools. Every time the old cynical tape begins to play, you must immediately insert and embody the new, empowering command, treating your mind as a highly fertile ground that demands constant, deliberate cultivation. Mindset shifts alone are simply declarations unless they are solidified by consistent, tangible action. We must build a bridge between our new beliefs and our daily habits, integrating the psychological work into powerful microactions that confirm our new reality. This is how we convince the nervous system that the new way of being is safe and beneficial. The first critical habit is financial gratitude. Most people only activate their financial awareness when they feel worry or obligation. We need to rewire the brain to associate money with positive emotion, security, and contribution every single day. Identify 3 specific acts of exchange that money facilitated and express genuine, heartfelt thanks for them. Did money allow you to protect your family with insurance? Did it fund the education or skill development that created your current value? Did it simply purchase the healthy meal you enjoyed? Write these down and feel the relief and safety they represent. This practice shifts the nervous system out of chronic fight or flight mode related to money, creating a psychological space where creative financial solutions can actually emerge. Next, implement conscious spending and receiving. Stop grudgingly paying bills. When you release funds for rent, taxes, or services, transform the transaction into an affirmation. Say, silently, I release this money with love and gratitude for the value received, knowing it returns to me multiplied. This stops the scarcity drain of regret. Equally important, when you receive income, whether a paycheck or a small windfall, pause. Acknowledge it fully as a manifestation of your inherent worth and effort. Do not immediately filter it through the lens of pending debt or worry. Acknowledge the positive, energetic transfer. This ritual elevates your transaction habits into powerful affirmations of abundance. Finally, dedicate time to prosperity visualization and future self-embodiment. Your subconscious responds most powerfully to emotional resonance, not dry facts. Spend 10 minutes daily vividly imagining your financial reality 6 months from now. Feel the confidence of your successful decisions. Feel the freedom of your schedule, and feel the joy of contributing at a higher, more impactful level. Then journal from the perspective of this financially self-mastered future self. What risks did they confidently take? How did they manage an unexpected challenge? By physically writing and emotionally embodying this identity, you begin to act like the person who attracts and manages wealth, accelerating the physical manifestation of that new reality into your present life. We have cleared the debris, updated the blueprint, and installed the supporting habits. The final, most transformative step is a total reclamation of your new financial identity. You are no longer the individual characterized by struggle. You are the architect of sustained abundance. Financial mastery is ultimately a measure of emotional maturity, the ability to hold and manage significant resources without allowing fear, guilt, or ego to compromise your ethics or your peace. Stepping into this new identity means moving from being financially reactive to being financially sovereign. The old identity operated from constant panic, reacting defensively to every bill or market fluctuation. The new identity responds from a place of grounded, strategic confidence. You now know your intrinsic value is detached from your bank balance. You trust your ability to generate, manage, and multiply resources because you have healed the internal conflict. This identity shift is critical for sustainability. True prosperity requires you to become a conscious, ethical conduit for resources. This necessitates integrating your financial ambition with a higher purpose. Ask yourself, what does my abundance fundamentally allow me to contribute to the world? When your financial success is linked to funding innovation, empowering others, providing generational stability, or enhancing your community, you give your money flow a moral imperative. This purpose-driven wealth removes the deep-seated guilt often associated with success, reinforcing the magnetic pull of prosperity. Because your system understands that your success benefits the collective, not just the individual ego. The financial mature individual handles setbacks with resilience, not catastrophe, and embraces success with humility, not arrogance. They understand that money is a powerful tool, an amplifier of existing character traits. They do not allow it to define them. They command it to serve their highest goals. You must look in the mirror today and shed the last vestiges of a scarcity identity. Stop narrating the story of past struggle. Start living, acting, and speaking as the resourceful, masterful individual you'll become. The universe responds instantly and profoundly, not to what you hope to be, but to the identity you are embodying in every decision, every transaction, and every thought right now. This journey of financial transformation is not a quick fix. It is a profound commitment to continuous emotional alignment and energetic evolution. The old programming will test you. Scarcity thoughts will occasionally surface, especially during moments of high stress. Your lifelong task now is to become the unwavering gatekeeper of your financial mind. When a familiar, limiting thought appears, a fear of inadequacy or an urge to sabotage success, immediately acknowledge it with detachment. Thank it for its old, misplaced protective effort, and then decisively dismiss it, replacing it instantly with your new, empowering command. To solidify this transformation and anchor the shift deep within your subconscious, take a moment to commit fully to this new reality. Take a deep, cleansing breath and feel the powerful, expansive energy of infinite resource flowing effortlessly through your entire being. Feel the old anxieties, the heavy weight of inherited struggle dissolving away. That energy is gone, replaced by vibrant, undeniable possibility. Now, anchor this new, powerful identity with this final, definitive affirmation. Speak this silently or out loud, feeling its complete, transformative truth. I release the struggle and the exhaustion. My effort is now perfectly aligned with my reward. I am a powerful, conscious creator of wealth, attracting resources with wisdom, integrity, and ease. Prosperity flows through me, to me, and from me, constantly accelerating positive impact in my life and the lives of those around me. I am safe. I am worthy. I am fully abundant. The specific blockage has been identified. The destructive programming has been decoded and replaced. The weight you carried has vanished because you realize the resistance was only a miscalibrated mechanism inside your mind. Today, you have awakened the financial master within. You now possess the inherent power to shape prosperity, not merely chase it. Commit fiercely to being the person who not only achieves success, but holds it, enjoys it, and utilizes it for exponential, purposeful growth. Your financial evolution starts now, grounded in clarity, emotional mastery, and the unshakable knowing that you are finally ready for the true abundance that has always been waiting for you. The core work of belief identification and conscious habit installation brings us to the most delicate, final layer of self-mastery, the permanent calibration of what neuroscientists refer to as your financial set point, or what we will term the wealth thermostat. Your subconscious mind has a deep-seated temperature setting for comfort and safety. If, historically, $75,000 per year was the maximum level of complexity, risk, or security you could comfortably manage, reaching $150,000 often triggers an unconscious regulatory mechanism. This is an external sabotage. It's an internal system attempting to restore perceived safety by nudging you back to the familiar $75,000 setting, often manifesting as sudden urges for reckless spending, aversion to necessary expansion steps, or even picking fights with a critical business partner. The challenge now is to not just declare a higher setting, but to sustain the emotional equilibrium of that new, elevated financial reality until the old baseline dissolves. Paradoxically, this upward recalibration requires tolerating intense discomfort, the anxiety of expansion. It feels riskier to hold a large, unfamiliar sum than to remain comfortably struggling. Therefore, our commitment must move beyond affirmations into emotional resilience practice. We must intentionally sit with the uncomfortable feelings that accompany significant growth, the fear of visibility, the burden of managing new complexities, and the quiet worry of inadequacy, without allowing those emotions to dictate reactionary decisions. The new financial master understands that anxiety is simply the growing pains of a nervous system stretching its capacity, not a red flag signaling imminent disaster. Furthermore, we must recognize that the universe will inevitably test your new thermostat setting. These financial trials typically arrive in two forms: a large, unexpected windfall, or a sudden, non-catastrophic but significant loss. The test is not about the money itself. It is about observing your response. When a $20,000 bonus lands, does the old self immediately panic and spend it on frivolous, unnecessary depreciating assets out of fear it will vanish? Or does the new self calmly allocate it to strategic growth and security? Conversely, when unexpected tax bill or market correction causes a dip, does the old programming scream, "I told you success doesn't last," pulling you back into scarcity thinking? Or does the sovereign self categorize the loss as tuition, analyzing the data, and strategically moving forward without succumbing to emotional paralysis? The true depth of your commitment is revealed in the eye of these temporary financial storms. Building on this level of mastery, we must integrate the understanding that abundance is not a stagnant reservoir to be fiercely guarded, but a dynamic, ever-moving tide. Financial evolution demands that you cease viewing your bank account balance as a moral report card. There will be ebbs and flows. Periods of intense creation and high return will naturally be followed by phases of consolidation or even temporary recession. The master distinguishes between a fundamental failure of their system, which is now healed, and a natural rhythm of economic life. Consequently, your long-term commitment involves anchoring profound emotional neutrality towards short-term fluctuations. You trust the overall trajectory because you trust your internal capacity to generate resources, regardless of current external conditions. This frees up immense cognitive energy that was previously wasted on market anxiety and incessant worry. Finally, the ultimate measure of your commitment is its generational impact. The transformation you have undergone is not purely a selfish pursuit. It is a profound ethical obligation to break the lineage of financial struggle that may have haunted your family for decades. By maintaining this posture of abundance, strategic calm, and emotional security around money, you are modeling a completely new reality for your children, nephews, employees, or mentor. They will observe financial decisions made from a place of clarity and purpose rather than fear and panic. They will inherit a belief system where wealth is viewed as a tool for contribution and freedom, not a source of shame or conflict. This legacy of liberation, the systemic, enduring change you install in the lives you touch, is the most powerful and enduring expression of your financial self-mastery. The shift elevates your perspective. You are no longer just managing money for yourself. You are establishing a new financial destiny for everyone connected to your influence. Reflecting on this journey so far, it becomes profoundly clear that we have been engaged in an essential act of internal architecture. We peel back the layers of inherited anxiety, not merely to observe the damage, but to isolate the structural weaknesses that had silently dictated the contours of our financial reality. The critical implication is that the sheer volume of external effort we once exerted, the grinding attempts to force a change in circumstances, was largely nullified by an equal and opposite force originating from within. We were trying to sail a magnificent vessel against an internal current of our own making, and the exhaustion we felt was the inevitable friction of that ceaseless, pointless conflict. The realization of this inner saboteur and the strategic methods developed to neutralize its silent authority is the pivot point of genuine, sustained prosperity. What has been achieved is a foundational shift in energetic resonance. Imagine your life as a sophisticated instrument, capable of broadcasting immense success. For years, the strings were out of tune, resonating at the frequency of scarcity, a low, discordant hum set by default programming and generational trauma. You may have increased the volume of the sound, working harder, but the quality of the transmission remained poor, attracting only chaos and misaligned opportunities. Now, having consciously refined internal mechanisms, smoothed out the static, and replaced the compromised components of doubt, you are broadcasting on an entirely new frequency of expansion. This is an arbitrary wish. It is the inevitable outcome of achieving energetic coherence. The universe, in its elegant neutrality, does not respond to your desperation. It responds only to your signature frequency, the undeniable, sustained certainty of your emotional state aligned with your deliberate intention. The liberation in this moment is palpable. It is the deep, settled understanding that you are no longer obligated to the historical narrative of scarcity, that exhausting cycle. The rush toward success followed by the inevitable self-generated pullback has lost its command over you. We are stepping into a profound sense of financial sovereignty, recognizing that resource generation and management are now expressions of purpose and confidence, rather than defensive reactions driven by underlying fear. This shift in operational default means your decision-making faculty is clearer, your strategic vision is sharper, and the fear of failure is simply transmuted into data for learning. This mastery is not merely about achieving a higher number on a balance sheet. It is a quiet, assured power of knowing that your inherent capacity for creation is fundamentally secure, regardless of temporary market volatility. We have identified and installed the necessary emotional armor to withstand the testing periods that inevitably accompany growth, transforming those challenges from existential threats into mere data points for refinement. We have learned how to anchor ourselves in the truth of worthiness, allowing the flow of prosperity to expand without the simultaneous spike of guilt or anxiety that once shut down the system. This established internal fortitude, this unshakable anchor, is the only ground upon which true, non-negotiable abundance can build. It is the irreversible recognition that the wellspring of wealth is inside you, and you have finally secured the keys to its uninterrupted, powerful flow. The final alignment awaits, ready to solidify this transformation and make this new state of being your permanent, glorious reality. The journey we have embarked upon, from the silent battlefield of internal conflict to the open expanse of conscious creation, reveals a truth far more profound than any tactical financial advice could offer. Abundance is not a pursuit. It is a state of being achieved through energetic coherence. We began by observing the diligent, exhausted soul, the hero stuck in a frustrating loop where effort produced only scarcity. That struggle was a perfect manifestation of a misaligned internal blueprint, a tragic disconnect between the conscious desire for success and the unconscious conviction that prosperity equaled peril. The ultimate insight gleaned from dismantling these mental structures is this: true financial self-mastery is the seamless integration of your highest ambition with your deepest sense of safety. For too long, the financial world has operated under a false premise that security is purely external, a function of debt ratios, investment portfolios, and cash reserves. We now understand that the most potent form of security is entirely internal, the absolute trust in your own capacity to generate and attract resources irrespective of momentary market conditions. When that trust is achieved, the fear that once acted as an emergency brake on your potential simply dissolves. This transformation moves us beyond merely earning money. It allows us to embody the identity of the wealthy individual. This is not about affectation or pretense, but about operating from a psychological framework where confidence, clarity, and contribution are the default settings. The true millionaire mindset is not defined by calculating compound interest, but by the effortless decision-making that stems from a healed and aligned internal world. When you operate from this healed state, the need for frenetic, anxious effort vanishes. Your actions become magnetic. They are guided by purpose and ease, attracting opportunities rather than desperately chasing them. Consider the final implication of this work. By shifting your personal relationship with money from one of fear and obligation to one of partnership and respect, you are not just improving your life. You are actively healing the energetic landscape for those around you. You break the chain of inherited scarcity that defined past generations, establishing a new legacy defined by resilience, generosity, and thoughtful expansion. This is the silent revolution of self-mastery. One person's internal alignment elevates the external reality for many. The challenge now is not to revert to the old methods of anxiety and striving. The challenge is to hold the line of your new, prosperous frequency with unwavering commitment. When inevitable doubt whispers, remember the blueprint. Remember the courage it took to face the internal enemy. Sustain the gratitude. Practice the sovereign response, and trust the elegant flow of the universe that responds to certainty. Your success is no longer a matter of luck or external circumstance. It is the inevitable unfolding of a precisely calibrated, powerful internal system. You are now the master architect, and your only remaining task is to live fully into the abundance you have rightfully and powerfully created. Go forth and expand with peace, purpose, and profound prosperity.